Hi there. It's August 19th already. And time for Proverbs 19. Over there. More Proverbs, all right? We're deep into the Proverbs now. Okay, verse 1. Better is a poor person who walks in his integrity than one who is crooked in speech and is a fool. All right. Plenty of those out there now, right? They're usually on the internet. 2. Desire without knowledge is not good, and whoever makes haste with his feet misses his way. A soul. For without knowledge the mind is not good. He that hasteth with his feet sinneth. Right. There's a lot of things that pop into your head when you read something like this. Just, I want to fly a plane. Okay, I want to fly a big jet plane. Army jet plane. Right, that's a desire. Right. If you do it, okay, hop in the plane. There you go. Here's the keys. Take off. You have no idea what you're doing. You have no knowledge. Okay, bad things are going to happen. Right. Miss your way. 3. When a man's folly brings his way to ruin, his heart rages against the Lord. When a man's foolishness brings his way to ruin, he blames God. Okay? Blames God. And it's usually from not listening to God in the first place, right? God said, I told you not to go down that road, but you insisted, and now you're in trouble, right? Sometimes bad things happen because God is keeping you from worse things, okay? But it's never God's fault, all right? Yeah, rage against the Lord won't do you any good. 4. Wealth brings many new friends, but a poor man is deserted by his friend. Right. You got lots of friends. They like to party. As soon as you run out of money, they all go away, right? They all go away. 5. A false witness will not go unpunished, and he who breathes out lies will not escape. Boy, let's hope so. There are lots of those out there. And they're starting to get discovered, aren't they? 6. Many seek the favor of a generous man, and everyone who is a friend to him is a friend to a man who gives gifts. Right. That's true. Or of a noble. Right. Somebody that's got a lot. There's always people trying to be their friends, right? 7. All a poor man's brothers hate him. How much more do his friends go far from him? He pursues them with words, but does not have them. Right? Uncertain. What's it say over here? To have comfort. Man, you're supposed to take care of your brothers, right? That's what Jesus said. 8. Whoever gets sense loves his own soul. He who keeps understanding will discover good. All right. You love your own soul. Get some sense. Where do you get sense? Bible, right here. All right. A sense of right and wrong, a sense of good and bad, right? Look, more false witnesses, right? Let's just have some fun with these, okay? You think this was an issue back then? Yeah. Jesus was killed because of false witnesses. All the apostles were put in prison because of false witnesses, okay? And the Pharisees and the Sanhedrin would go out and pay people to say things that weren't true, just to get them in trouble because they did not want them preaching about Jesus. It threatened their positions, right? Just that simple. Okay? A false witness will not punish, and he who breathes out lies will perish, right? Same thing. A false witness will not go unpunished, and he who breathes out lies will not escape. Let's see if there's more. 10. It is not fitting for a fool to live in luxury, much less for a slave to rule over princes. Right? Why? Because they have no sense, usually. There you go. Good sense makes one slow to anger, and it is his glory to overlook an offense. Right? Whoever loves sense gets his own soul. Loves his own soul. Whoever gets sense. Good sense makes one slow to anger, and it is his glory to overlook an offense. Can you overlook offenses? Just let it slide. Keep scrolling. 12. A king's wrath is like the growling of a lion, but his favor is like dew on the grass. 13. A foolish son is a ruin to his father, and a wife's quarreling is continual dripping of rain. 14. House and wealth are inherited from fathers, but a prudent wife is from the Lord. You got that? Men should be looking for a woman of God, and women should be looking for a man of God. It should be the first and foremost important thing. Because the closer you both seek God, the closer you'll come together. Amazing how that works. Okay, where were we? Prudent wife is from the Lord. 15. Slothfulness, laziness, casts into a deep sleep, and an idle person will suffer hunger. You starve to death sooner or later if you do nothing all the time. 16. Whoever keeps the commandment, God's word, the Bible, right, keeps his life. He who despises his ways, God's ways, will die. 17. Whoever is generous to the poor lends to the Lord, and he will repay him for his deed. Right? It says this all over the Bible, especially Proverbs. Right? If you give to the poor, you are lending to God, and God pays back with interest every single time. It's never different. Okay? 18. Discipline your son, for there is hope, and do not set your heart on putting him to death. Right? You see these crazy kids out there now doing stupid stuff. They were not disciplined when they were younger. Right? You are killing them by not disciplining them with the rod sometimes, which includes spankings when they are very young. Okay? 19. A man of great wrath will pay the penalty, for if you deliver him, you will only have to do it again. There are some people that are just always angry, right? Always angry. Right? There's one particular congressperson always shaking a cane. I have never seen that man smile. Right? And there are people that are just always angry. Right? And helping them out is no good because you'll only have to do it again because they never stop being angry. 20. Listen to advice and accept instruction that you may gain wisdom in the future. Right? Somebody's trying to tell you something. Listen. All right? Accept instruction. That's the Bible too. Okay? 21. Many are the plans in the mind of men, but it is the purpose of the Lord that will stand. Right? And if you try and do those plans, right, without God's blessing, and what happens? You go way back up here. Right? When a man's foolishness brings his way to ruin, his heart rages against the Lord. Many other plans in the mind of man, but it is a purpose of the Lord that will stand. Okay? God will have his way. 22. What is desired in a man is steadfast love, and a poor man is better than a liar. Right? If he has steadfast love of the Lord. 23. The fear of the Lord leads to life, and whoever has it rests satisfied. He will not be visited by harm. You fear the Lord and follow the Lord. Ultimately, nobody can hurt you, okay? 25, the sluggard buries his hand in the dish and will not even bring it back to his mouth. Right? People are that lazy, okay? Hoarders do this, right? They buy things, never take them out of the bag, just pile them up in their house. Never use them, right? There's people that hoard food. They get food, they never eat it, they just hoard it, right? They're after a kind of security that stuff won't bring, right? 25, strike a scoffer, and the simple will learn prudence. Reprove a man of understanding, and he will gain knowledge, right? So when the police step in and start beating down these protesters, they scatter, okay? Right? You reprove a man of understanding, a wise person, a God-following person, he'll gain knowledge, right? 26, he who does violence to his father and chases away his mother is a son who brings shame and reproach. People like that. I can't imagine, but there are people like that. 27, cease to hear instruction, my son, and you will stray from the words of knowledge. You hear instruction from the Bible, okay? If you cease, you will stray from the words of knowledge. Never stop reading your Bible. Well, I read it, I'm done. No, it doesn't work like that. It's a living document, so. 28, a worthless witness mocks at justice, and the mouth of the wicked devours iniquity. Worthless witness, don't care. And 29, condemnation is ready for scoffers, and beating for the backs of fools. Think about that. So, what's highlighted in here? Lots of stuff. Huh? One is highlighted, better is a poor person who walks in his integrity than one who is crooked in speech and is a fool. Right? You walk in your integrity, knowing what you believe and believing what you know, fearing the Lord and following that path only, even though you're poor, right? 3, when a man's foolishness brings his way to ruin, his heart rages against the Lord, right? When a man does something stupid, he blames God. Okay, and let's jump down to 21. Right? Many are the plans in the mind of man, but it is the purpose of the Lord that will stand. Right? God's going to have his way. Okay? And you blaming him is not going to change that. Okay? Listen the first time, even though it sounds crazy, okay? He has a better plan for you. 4 is highlighted, wealth brings many new friends, but a poor man is deserted by his friend. Money, right? Money is a god all of its own, a false god, right? The god of Mammon, it's called. Most people, in one form or another, worship money. They think money will solve all their problems, right? So when somebody has a lot of money, you want to be their friend, hoping that you get some of their money, right? Poor people are deserted by their friends. If these are the kind of friends you have, you're already a poor person, right? Okay, 5, a false witness will not go unpunished, and he who breathes out lies will not escape. And 9, same thing. A false witness will not go unpunished, and he who breathes out lies will perish, will die. You won't escape, you will die, a false witness. Okay? And that's somebody who goes into a court and swears that he's telling the truth, and then lies to get somebody out of trouble, or somebody into trouble. They will not escape. And 6. Let's put these together. Wealth brings many new friends, but a poor man is deserted by his friend. Verse 4. Verse 6. Many seek the favor of a generous man, but everyone is a friend to a man who gives gifts. And everyone. Right. or of a noble, right? They want presents. They want something that will make their life easier. 8 is highlighted. Whoever gets sense loves his own soul. He who keeps understanding will discover good. What's this? Loveth his own. He that is upright in judgment findeth favor of God. Okay? Possesses understanding. Whoever says whoever possesseth understanding over here. Over here says whoever gets sense. Okay? Understanding and good sense, that's, they go hand in hand, I guess. Right? Okay, we did that one. 10, it is not fitting for a fool to live in luxury, much less for a slave to rule over princes. There's a note over here. The free use of things are not to be permitted to him that cannot use them aright or rightly. Right. They don't know how, first off. Okay. 11, good sense makes one slow to anger, and it is his glory to overlook an offense. Right? There's a note over here. That is to cover it by charity, love, and to do therein as may most serve God's glory. Right? What will most serve God's glory? Overlooking an offense. Right? God forgives. God has grace. We're supposed to be like that. Okay. 17 is highlighted. Whoever is generous to the poor lends to the Lord, and he will repay him for his deed. Okay. And I say this, talk about this all the time. If you are generous to the poor, you're lending to God. God always pays back his debts with interest every time. Every time. Okay. If you have a $5 bill in your pocket and you give it to a poor man, you're not going to get back $5. Okay, you will get back more. Sometimes a little, sometimes a lot, but always you will get back more. Okay? People only understood that. 18 is highlighted. Discipline your son, for there is hope. Do not set your heart on putting him to death. Right? At some point, I should go through Proverbs and get all these disciplined ones and put them together. And you'd be surprised how many there are. Talks about spanking and the rod and right, and what happens if you don't. Right? You can see a lot out there now what's happening to people that did not discipline their kids, right? Oh, we have to care about his feelings. No, you have to train him to do the right thing when they're very young, because you cannot train them once they become teenagers, okay? 19, a man of great wealth will pay the penalty, for if you deliver him, you'll only have to do it again. What's this note over here? Though for a time he give place to counsel, yet soon after he will give place to his raging affections. Right. Can you fix that? Yeah, you can fix it. God can fix anything. But somebody that has a lot of raging affections, it says over here, right? You deliver him, it'll help for a while, but pretty soon his mind will start running wild again and he'll just do it again. Does it mean you should give up trying? I don't think so. 21, many are the plans in the mind of man, but it is the purpose of the Lord that will stand. Right? Make all the plans you want. When they fail, don't rage against the Lord, like it says up in verse 3, right? Right. 23, fear of the Lord leads to life. Whoever has it rests satisfied and will not be visited by harm. Right. Right. Harm. They can take your body. They can't take your soul. Okay. Your soul, your spirit. 24, the sluggard buries his hand in the dish and will not even bring it back to his mouth. You know, people like that. Hoarders are like that. Yeah. Lazy people. Can't imagine being so lazy that you won't even feed yourself, but they're out there. Okay, and 27. Cease to hear instruction, my son, and you will stray from the words of knowledge. Right? If you stop hearing instruction, good criticism, right? Pastors, teachers, the Bible especially, you'll stray from the words of knowledge. So there you go. That's Proverbs 19. All right, we're getting through this. We have the right button here. So stay tuned later today. We started the book of Corinthians. We're in chapter 2 today. It's a good book, okay? A lot of parallels between America and what was going on in Corinth, just like Romans, okay? These were Gentile nations. And there's a lot of good stuff. Just like the Proverbs, these things going on today that were going on back then, okay? Okay. There is nothing new under the sun, right? Everything repeats itself over and over again. So, good thing. Stay tuned for that. Give us a like if you think about it, and we'll see you again tomorrow.